Good morning. Welcome to Morning Moments. I am so glad that you have joined us today. I have another actor, and I got to tell you, this is a thrill because I've had actors that has been on and actresses that's been on Vindication before, and my guest has been on Vindication. And I haven't had anybody from Chosen, and I've said, it'd be nice to have somebody from Chosen. I get somebody that's been on Chosen and Vindication. It's great. From Texas, Ruben Gary Martinez. Welcome, Ruben.
Thanks, Andy. Welcome to you too.
Yeah, I love your sandwiches. One of my favorite sandwiches is the Ruben, and I'm glad you made them. Thank you so much. Ruben is not only an actor, but he does improv and comedy as well. So, but I'm thrilled to have him here. Tell me, Ruben, about yourself. Tell me, what do you do and why do you do it?
So what do I do and why do I do it? Gosh, that's a great question. So I probably would say I'm an encourager. I'm an encourager, and the way I encourage is either through entertainment, professional role, comedy, improv, and even singing. And the reason why I do it is because there's so many people that are hurting this world. And I've been blessed with my jobs to be able to travel all around the world. I've been around all the way from the castles and palaces of Europe down to the favelas in Brazil. And what I've noticed everywhere I've gone is just some people have hope, no hope. There's people are sad. They don't see a reason for living, or just life in general. They're bored with what they're doing, or they don't know what they want to do. So what I do is I bring some type of joy to them. And I see that in the acting world. If I can make people laugh, even those that are around in the set, or if I'm doing comedy. One thing I like to do is when I'm walking around, everywhere I go, and again, my kids love this. I'll crack jokes everywhere I am. Matter of fact, I'm known on the set as someone who's always making people laugh or just encouraging them, sitting there. Because again, we live life together, and that's something that I love to do. And it's just something that even if I'm playing a different role, and that could be almost every role that I think that Chosen has had, I've been that role. Or if I'm playing a different, even a sinister character, an evil character, I'll still try to provide some type of entertainment to those around me.
Yeah, you got that real biblical look to you too. That really helps, doesn't it? You look like a Sadducee or a beggar or whatever. They could just put different costumes on you, and it's nice to have that look as well, isn't it?
That's correct. Sometimes even I used to laugh when I was younger that when we watched movies with my mom, I would say, "Oh, look, there's that hand in that movie." And like, "Oh, one day I'm going to be that hand. Or one day I'm going to be that nose." And now I'm literally a hand sometimes, or a nose. But yeah, if you just put a costume on a hand, it's still the same person, right?
Yeah.
But I want you to know that it took a lot of hard work, though, to be that hand or be that nose, to be that part. So
Absolutely. Yeah. People don't realize all the work that happens, but it's when you step back and let God orchestrate your life, it's amazing where God can put you when you have surrender, isn't it?
That's correct. And that's one thing that I've learned a long time ago is as you allow God to use you, and it's kind of like the question you just asked, what do I do and why do I do it? Almost you want to ask yourself that daily as you wake up and say, okay, God, what do you have for me to do today? And I might not know why, where you're going to place me. And I don't know who you're going to put me next to, but allow me to be that light. Allow me to be your hands and your feet wherever I go, because that's what we need. That people need that extra touch, especially now when you consider all the pandemic. We're not supposed to touch people, but we can still touch people with our words. We can still touch people by just being there for them when they feel like they're alone. So definitely, it does take work. And I would say daily, that should be something we should ask ourselves and ask each other. What are you doing today? And why are you doing it?
And when the world tells us to distance ourselves 6 feet apart from everybody else, and folks look at distancing ourselves, and we are in a culture that we should be drawing people to Christ or drawing people in, it's so difficult. But it's still we can still draw folks in, even though the world's saying 6 feet apart.
6 feet apart is just far enough to tell a joke. So if it doesn't land, you can still walk away.
It's
If you're doing a drive-through, I'm going to a drive-through, not doing a drive-through, going to a drive-through, getting food. Again, it's just something where I'll see someone give me a meal or whatever, and again, I have that distance. I can lay a joke there. If it didn't land, I'm out.
Yeah.
But most of the time they land. I'd say 97% of the chance, and they'll leave with a little chuckle. And again, knowing that they've had a good day. Sometimes, especially here in Texas today, we're having, the snowstorm of 2022, and people are cold. They're actually outside working, but to make them laugh, again, or just put a little smile on their face and say, hey, somebody actually thought about me, even though it's, I'm cold out here, and then I can still laugh.
And folks say I know I've done a lot of comedy myself, and folks just say, well, why do you do it? Well, I do that because of that same thing, to the enjoyment I have to get somebody to laugh. Even in school, I was the class clown, and I was the one that would always get in trouble for making people laugh, or getting, or be in the back of the service when my dad was preaching, making my friends laugh. But that was just built within me, just to have fun. And God builds us that way for a reason. And the thing that gets us in trouble one day is the thing that helps us, to achieve our goals that, when we're older.
Yeah, I would say that I had a great training ground. I'm the youngest of 7.
Oh, geez.
So yeah, so I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters, and I always say that my mom and dad reached perfection when they got to me. That's why they stopped. So, which of course makes sense.
Yeah.
But everyone, all 7 of us, including, I should say 9 of us, my mom and dad as well, included, we would all like to make each other laugh. And again, that's just to give ourselves thicker skin so we can handle life, if you will. I didn't know that I was being trained later on to be able to, wherever I could go, because I've talked to, in my professional role, all the way from a presidents and CEOs of companies to, person down there washing the floors and other things like that. But the one thing that combines all of us is that we like to laugh.
Yeah.
We all like to have fun, and we all like to be entertained. And sometimes it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter, even if you look in a spiritual sense, it doesn't even matter your sin. If someone is there that cares for you, you're going to be willing to talk to that person more, as opposed to someone that says, hey, you know what? I'm going to beat you up. You're not going to really listen to. But if I care about you so much, I'm going to spend time with you, that I want to make you laugh. I want to be there to entertain you. That's a ministry right there. And I think that's where God allows us and chooses, again, what do we go through, to be his hands and feet, to be that living Bible, living word to those around us that might not even hear it or might not want to hear it, but they're going to hear a joke. And they're going to see that we're making fun of ourselves. We don't take ourselves seriously, because you know what? We are also sinners. And that's something that, again, that helps me. That's why Ephesians 5:8 is one of my favorite verses, because, even though God still demonstrated his love towards me, and that while I was still sinning, he still sent his son to die for me. And that if he did that for me, he's going to do it for anybody else. And again, and who am I to keep them from comedy or keeping them from feeling good? It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah. While we were yet sinners. Oh, and he loves us so much. And I often say, God loves us enough to take us just the way we are.
Thank God.
Yes. But he also loves us. He also loves us enough to not allow us to stay that way too. I'm so glad
this is true. Thank God. Yes.
I hear people say, well, he's not the man or woman I married. Well, thank God, because if we never changed, it wouldn't be a good relationship. But God does change us. He does. He's a changing God. And as we listen to him and listen to his voice, it just shows us what we're supposed to do, and also where we're supposed to go as well.
That is true. Sometimes when we don't listen, sometimes, it's funny because I always say, I've been traveling a lot, and there have been times where I'm walking down. I think I was in Brazil, and I was walking down this beautiful, beautiful beach, but it started getting dark. And in my mind, I'm saying, okay, you know what? God's with me. I'm walking down there. It's getting darker and darker. I can hear the waves crashing. There's big old boulders there. And I'm thinking, God still got me. I'm still walking. And I realized wait a minute. Maybe God doesn't want me walking down this beach with this water going, maybe I should turn and go where the lights are. So again, it's where when we start thinking about, yes, God, well, then you walk there, but sometimes he's saying, you know what, be safe, come over here where people are. You're not a lone ranger. You need lights. You need to be places. So again, I think we need to learn that as well, where God directs us, and make sure that it is truly God directing us and not us directing ourselves.
Our speed is not near as important as our direction.
That's true.
So we could be running full speed, but the wrong direction. And God says, wait, And so I'm okay with going slow, as long as I'm going the right direction.
Right.
So good. Gary, Ruben, it's been a delight to get to know you and to find out your heart. And when you look up Ruben Gary Martinez, you see he's been on a lot of things. He's been like 20 different roles on Chosen. I mean, it's amazing how many different things he's plays on Chosen. He's been on Vindication and other things. But when you look at Ruben and see what he's done, I want you to take the time and pray for him, that God will continue to put him at the right place at the right time to make people laugh, to tell the story, to do the things that God has gifted him to do, and that he would continue to be the future, the plan, and hope that God intends for him. Ruben, thank you so much.
Thank you, Andy. Nice meeting you.
Keep making those Ruben sandwiches too. I just love those. I really do. Thank you for joining us for Morning Moments. And thank you, Ruben. And everybody, if you would, keep on coming back, and God bless you.